Good afternoon and welcome in. Yeah, everything's working correctly. When you did that, then and pointed, I was like,
no, it's like Manny. It's Manny. He's joined us.
He has joined us. Welcome into Titan Talks on this Wednesday. Apologies for me being away for a few days. I've been under the weather. Still not feeling 100%, but it is what it is.
Thanks for being back.
You know, I've got stuff to do. It's kind of how I look at it. It never ends in the world of SMITE 2 and even SMITE in general because there's always stuff going on. Recap, though. Tsukiyomi came out this week. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a second, but I will just quickly go over, I guess, the amount of hotfixes we've had since release yesterday. There've been quite a few, so I'll just quickly touch on those. These will be published on Steam a little bit later on after the show. I'm still trying to catch up from my last few days out. However, a couple of things for you all to know. Giannis has been fixed in Assault, where he could get outside of the base.
Yeah, and we do have some reports of
Aladdin as well.
I was going to say a Giannis getting outside the map in Joust issue as well.
Classic.
We are aware of that, and we're looking at that right now.
Working on that one, but Giannis has been fixed in the Assault map. Tsukiyomi, he can no longer cancel his ability for free benefit, as in getting extra polyprocs, very similar to issues we've had before in the past with certain gods. Yamoja had some audio fixes for the Aladdin Lab exit, where she was playing an audio sound.
So what was happening was we got feedback from one of the ambassadors, I forget who.
Tempo, I believe.
It was like, why is it the loudest sound in the game when you leave Aladdin lamp? Why can we fix that? And Kellen went down this rabbit hole and found that it was playing Yamoja's one audio when you exited the lamp instead of the appropriate sound, and it was playing it at an incredibly high volume. So thanks for the report on that.
So what does it play? What sound does it play now?
I don't know. Whatever it's supposed to play.
There's a new sound?
There's a new sound, I believe. Yes, the appropriate sound. So so that has been addressed. So you no longer have Yamoja 1 sound at the loudest volume possible when you leave the lamp.
A couple of other UI issues with wandering market redirect pages and stuff like that, as long with volume mixers and things have been adjusted.
Yeah, there's one thing that basically like volume settings on voice chat, which is kind of a bigger one that people have been reporting for a while that I think we did get addressed, hopefully, with this hotfix. So.
That's right, because Vivox voice volume isn't applied on client boot. It only changes applied voice volume when the user is connected to a voice chat.
Yes. So now it should remember your
previous
settings and address that properly. So that's
however, if people have their mics louder or quieter, you're going to need to adjust.
And if they're playing on PS5, they inevitably have their controller mic constantly open. And you can
with
hear
the TV
their
in the
mom
background.
Yelling in the background.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than hearing TVs in the background.
I don't know what PlayStation was thinking with that. Just like, let's have everybody's bad mic on their controller always perma on by default. Like,
just everyone can hear it.
I think that like PlayStation did a ton of stuff right this generation, right? I love the dynamic triggers.
Yeah.
I think that like, the controller generally feels better than a PlayStation controller's ever felt, but dear God, why do you have that microphone on all the time? It drives me crazy.
So that's the audio issues. I mentioned UI tilt-up stuff. Then map stuff, candy corn effects, run low settings have been adjusted and fixed to be more interactable. More Tsukiyomi changes as well.
Yeah, the one thing on that is some people were saying they couldn't see the candy to pick up.
Yeah.
And that was because if you were at low graphics settings for your VFX, the candy just wasn't appearing. So that will be appearing now. I think that was also affecting Tsukiyomi caltrops or something maybe. There was something else that was like an actual gameplay effect that was not visible at low settings. So those should both be fixed with this.
Yeah, candy corn stuff with FX, like jumping areas and stuff like that, you're able to pick them up a bit easier. Tsukiyomi basic attacks fixed, Dead Suku having his targeter still up.
Yep.
Which is one. Also, fix some of the issues with the event for the reaping. Obviously, some people were complaining about assist not tracking, but that's been corrected too. Also, God, this list goes on. Tsukiyomi, his 2 is now CC bufferable. Hard CCs will now properly stop this ability, which is what should be happening.
Yes, because his 2 should be like a channel. It shouldn't be I can just keep doing this when you
no stopping me now. Remove the enhancement projectiles on death on the Tsukiyomi. Also, cancelling AOT fix for cancelling giving a free cooldown back.
Okay, so basically you could get infinite 2s. There was a way of hacking it where, not hacking, but if you canceled it at the precise right frame, it wouldn't go on cooldown. And you could then just do it again forever.
And then Caltrops slow, still affecting all god slow immunity. So that's been adjusted as well. And additionally, still to go out in the process, we do have some issues with Tsukiyomi going to get fixed with his ultimate and Aladdin's ultimate interacting. Some issues with maybe crashing the game, which we've resolved.
I think that there's some people reports that sometimes it crash their games. Some people were reporting that you would just insta die.
Okay.
If you were Aladdin and you were being ulted by a Tsukuyomi, and then you went into a lamp while being ulted by Tsukuyomi before he dashed to you, kind of thing.
Okay.
There were a couple like issues around that edge
The interaction
case.
points?
Yes.
Okay.
But those should all be cleared up now, I believe.
Also, I'm aware there is a couple of things that we're working on for Hecate with her 2 not doing any damage at the moment when she's at 0 charges. And also Fenrir Ultimate probably stunning people who are displacement immune.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot around displacement immunity stuff in the background to try and... because I think we meant to talk about this on a previous Titan Talk, but like Jormungandr has a different kind of displacement immunity than anybody else. So when we brought Jormungandr in, it changed the logic for a lot of the other stuff. So we had to go back and then
Adjust
change
the logic.
a lot of the logic around those other things. So like the most annoying bit of this was that if Bacchus was burping, you couldn't pick him up as Fenrir because he was displacement immune.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay.
And that's pretty bad. So that has been, or that will be addressed here.
Okay, well, that's all the changes I do have in terms of the hotfixes and a couple of things coming down the pipe. But obviously, Tsukuyomi just came out. At the moment, it's still too early of data on how he's performing with some of these bugs, I guess, Alex.
Yeah, we'll have just the very first data of like how he's performing in about an hour is like when the report is scheduled to run. So first day, it gives you a good direction of where things are going. But with some of the bugs, maybe a little bit one way or the other, we'll have to kind of see. I would say from my perspective, he seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of the classic Tsukuyomi though, right? Where it's like, he's going to deal a lot of damage. He's going to die a lot because you're going in, right?
You go in, you commit to an extent.
So I'm curious to see how things evolve as players remember how to play against Tsukuyomi for the next few days. Because I think that's always part of it. I would say also, just from my opinion, I feel like Yorm is a lot stronger this update from my games yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because we buffed his knockup height.
We did.
And for some reason, I don't know, I just feel like he's doing a lot better. We don't have any data yet. Like I said, we'll get data around too.
Knockups are always one of the strongest things, and a longer knockup in the air is always going to be more useful there. But also, Suki, from what I saw, seemed to be doing well in the jungle, struggled a little bit in the laning scenarios, which is kind of normal. But then Aspect, I believe, is out on Friday.
Yeah, Aspect comes out on Friday.
Which I think a lot of people will get to grips with and see him a little bit more lane-orientated viable.
I think that's meant to be more of the lane aspect. More poke focused, more mid laney, maybe solo laney with that aspect. There are trade-offs for going that way, but I think that that will be more of the laner aspect most likely.
More than likely.
I saw I think people are just so excited about Tsukuyomi. I saw Tsukuyomi played in duo lane a couple times yesterday even.
That's normal.
Is that normal? It's just because it's new god.
On release day, it's like you get into the lobby and you just instant lock in.
Yeah. Whatever role I'm playing, it doesn't matter. Tsukuyomi.
I am playing Tsukuyomi, and that's just part of the game.
And people have always loved Tsukuyomi. Like a lot of the people on Reddit or in chat are the more hardcore players who have a lot of love for some of the more obscure gods that are mechanically interesting, right? But Tsukuyomi has always been incredibly popular. Just like people love edgy dudes. Like, I don't know what to say.
I think it's like plus the fluidity of his kit and how it all interacts.
Yeah, it all goes together so well.
I guess he's constantly throwing things out and be able to do things. So.
Yeah, I like it's like I like the everything is a mini combo in his kit. It's like you throw the thing, you throw the thing, you do the thing, you throw the thing. Like I don't know, it's
you got nothing else, you ult. You do it again. Rinse, repeat. That sounds about right.
Yeah, and yes, people love edgy dudes. Edgy dudes are the most popular genre of dudes. So anyway, let's see.
What questions do we have?
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of all we have prepped for the show.
Yeah,
today.
we do. To be honest, I was just like, let's just go with Q&A. I mean, that's the title of the show today because we're just here to answer questions for the most part, I believe. What are we doing Friday? Are we doing anything Friday right now? We haven't even spoke about that yet.
We haven't talked about it yet because you were sick.
Yep.
You're back today.
I am back today.
We'll probably plan something.
I'm already like, what are we doing? I've not even asked you. So yeah, we'll do it live.
But then, but we're a week from today we'll be going in game for our next god.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. I believe it's Shibalanke, right? Shibalanke's next one on the list.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah. You told me that for sure, and I keep forgetting what's on the list because we are doing dev play tests daily, and there was a lot of gods in there, and I'm like, what am I focusing on today? So I'm scared of giving spoilers of all the stuff that are coming out. However, like Shibas, from what I've seen in play tests, he's still got a lot going on with him at the moment, a lot of different fixes and ideas coming into play. So I'm excited to see how he performs there.
Cool. Let's answer some questions. What happened to the all-white soul skin? I saw a Reddit thread about this as well. And the we previewed the Soul Prisms.
Yeah.
And then the art team went back and they updated, I think, all the prisms for both Uller and Soul to be more interesting.
Yeah.
We got some early feedback that a lot of the prisms felt like more just like palette swaps and less interesting like material changes the way that we had done previously.
Right.
So they went back and they did a little bit more to kind of give a little bit more spice to those prisms.
Yeah.
I will say there's been a little bit more feedback that the all white one in particular players seem like they enjoyed. We don't currently have a plan for it. It's possible to bring it back, but we just, we weren't expecting a lot of people saying, oh, hey, we like this plain white one better than the white one with some accents,
right.
Because we thought we were just making it strictly better. So we could potentially go back to the white one. We just don't have plans for it yet. We would probably, if we did that, we'd probably have to add like an extra prism to the Traveler, which would require some work. Probably wouldn't happen until the next update, to be honest, because we aren't going to, if we decided to do it, just because it would be a decent amount of work to update the UI to show it and whatnot. But yeah, that's why we that's what happened. We were just trying to make it look cooler, and yeah, some people don't agree. It's like taste is very subjective on a lot of things.
I mean, it always is. People like it with accents, like it plain. I get that. One question. I believe I was away, so I don't know the full details of this, but you might know more. The reaping event. What happens with the pumpkins in the Travelers when the reaping event is over?
So the pumpkins currently, our expectation is that this is kind of like the Adventure Vault from, if you guys remember SMITE Adventures back in the day, like each adventure came with a vault and each vault had a key. Mm-hmm. And those keys continued to work kind of forever, right? So my current expectation is that like, if you get these pumpkins later, you're still going to get the reaping rewards. Like we aren't going to turn off the reaping rewards. We're just going to remove the UI screen that's showing your pumpkin progress in the same way that we don't have the UI screen showing, your adventure keys in SMITE 1. So yeah, the idea is that you're still getting the stuff with the pumpkins, and they aren't going anywhere. Okay. And then you can get the one pumpkin for free with the quest, picking up candy. You can get one pumpkin in each of these first two Travelers, and then we will have one more free pumpkin coming at some point. I don't know if it's next update or the one after. And then there's a bunch more Travelers coming with options to get pumpkins in them. Some of them are, I know at least one of them in the next update is a cheaper Traveler, because it's more of a special fun thing, which I will not tease anymore beyond that. But there are a couple different like price points too. If you're like, oh, I'm one pumpkin short and I just want to buy something small to get that, then there will be an option for that too. Stop hiring toddlers for SMITE 2. It's so bad. How long do you think the shortest anybody has been on this team has been? Probably 5 years.
I was going to say, what's hiring
7
mean?
years?
We've not talked about that in a long time.
Yeah, the SMITE team has been the SMITE team for a while. Like we don't have any even really new people on the team right now.
What an all cap message.
Yeah, I was
I'd
like,
go in, but it's just
toddlers. Like that's an amusing take. Manny's a toddler. I don't know. Manny's probably at least 5 years old. We've had that mannequin for a long time.
Yeah, we have. He's been around a hot minute.
We could hire my daughter.
In the toddler age?
Yeah, she would be, if as long as we paid her in snacks, she would be very happy.
Then you know what? I'm interested in what she can come with. Maybe it's
what can she bring to the job?
I don't know. What can she bring to the table? Let's find out. We'll just bring her on the show.
How many gods still don't have a skin? I don't have the firm number of that, but I do know that on our schedule, there is a plan to get every god a skin. So I think there's only a couple that are left, but I don't have the exact number in front of me. I do know we also only have I want to say 3 cross-gen skins left. It might be 4, might be 2, but it's in that ballpark. We're almost done bringing over cross-gen skins. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm just making a note about one of the people in chat message about a Ganesha plushie code. I'll reach out to you directly about that, but shouldn't be happening.
Merc needs a skin. Yeah, Merc has a cross-gen skin, so that's one of the ones that is still missing. He's like a demon in that one. So I know that one's coming soon. I don't know if it's next update or the update after that, but that is definitely coming.
After porting 2 newer gods with fewer +1s, can we generally expect newer gods to get fewer +1s? I'd argue no. I'd say it just really is going to depend on how the developers are looking at the kits and what needs to be adjusted for additions, if anything.
Yeah, I think that a lot of like Yorm has a very like flow to the way his stuff works, in the same way that like Giannis has a very flow to the way this stuff works. Like Awelish has a very flow to the way this stuff works. I think that gods that have kind of this like, we don't want to mess with the core gameplay flow too much, probably will have slightly fewer +1s. Gods that there's more room to experiment and improve, you might see more +1s. I know that some of the gods that we have in dev right now have quite a few. Some of the gods don't have many.
Sure.
And sometimes we test +1s that don't end up going live because we're like, this doesn't really add anything to the god. This kind of just either makes it more complicated for the sake of complicated, or it just makes them too good, and if we take away something from the core of what this god was, then our players going to be happy with the change? Probably not, So I think that like where the opportunity presents itself, we'll definitely do more +1s, but where a god's just like, this is kind of a god that works in Smite 2 with a flow that feels good that we don't really want to mess with, we probably do less.
Makes a lot of sense. Also, I feel like the earlier gods as well you might see a bit more +1s with the earlier gods, because they had very not basic but easy or fundamental kits. They could have had some spice to them at some point. So
more room to make changes.
I think you see more room there than you do with more of the more recent, like let's say Season 6 onwards gods. They had a bit more to them. That's my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think that like, I mean, even still, like there's quite a bit of +1s to Tsukiyomi, right? True. Like, I mean, the whole alternate version of his 2, with that scales off of int, right? With Yorm, the whole like standing in the pools to get the basic attack refresh rate. Like, I don't know. I mean, like there's stuff. Like, it's not like we didn't do any +1s for him. It's just like, I guess it also kind of is like, I think that when people are like, you didn't do many +1s, they really mean you didn't do many like core game loop changing +1s.
Yeah.
And I think that those are like the most risky ones to do. And we have to be very confident that like people want the core gameplay loop of the god to change more significantly.
Any thought on increasing the item limit you can buy from default 6? I mean,
probably not going to happen.
Not anytime soon.
I mean, we already have like effectively we already have 7 items.
Correct.
And really you can squint and say we have 9 items.
With the relic.
Right? Because we have consumables. Well.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And I was kind of counting relic as a different thing, but maybe you should count that.
If you count consumables, you should count the relic too. So then we're at 9.
Yeah. 10 because you got your starter item.
Accurate. Yeah.
So there's a lot of items in Smite. Like League of Legends is 6 plus a warding trinket, but consumables are part of your 6. Dota is 6 plus a backpack, where you can have 3 extra items that you can like swap around. I think Predecessor is 6 items. I don't know. Like 6 is just kind of like the MOBA standard.
Seems to be.
And I think that like the point of having 6 item slots, I guess, is the more important thing to say versus just like the other games do it. But like, I think the reason why it makes sense is because you want, during the course of a match, you want a certain number of like moments of like decision and power spike.
Yeah.
Right. And for the flow of a match, for the length of a match, if a match is 30 minutes long, then you're getting like every 5 minutes ish a major item. Right. And it's a little bit faster than that because you tend to be at full build for a little while in Smite. But that's the reason why there are those slots in the caps. And the reason why it's not just like infinite slots is because if you let all players like infinitely scale, then it's much harder to ever have like a comeback, if that makes sense.
I get you, yeah.
Right? Like if I can just build 100 items and I get all the farm, then it's harder to catch up to me.
But you never stop farming in those situations either.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of knock-on effects.
You got to fight.
You just keep... Well, I guess I go back to lane and get my 9th item now. Instead of going to the fire giant and trying to end the game, I'm going to go split push my tier 2 because I need my 9th item, I just think there's a numerical value of how many items in a game. I do think it's pretty variable right now, but I would never say never, I guess, in this world.
Oh, here's a good... HOTS has 0 items. HOTS does have 0 items, but HOTS has... I believe it's 8 talents that you pick during the course of a match?
It's been a while since I played it.
It's because I know at level... Yeah, maybe it's like 6. It might still be 6 even, where it's like... There's a number of choices that basically you make that are your moment of power spike plus new thing you can do, kind of, which is basically what an item is, right?
Yeah.
They just tried to simplify it by making it character specific. So it's, I think it's for our flow of the game, we're pleased with how things are there.
Increase candy spawns or lower the candy requirement. I played 5 hours and got 3 candies, and I'm actively searching for them. What else is chat thinking here? How is the candy situation? Because obviously it's only been out a day so far. I've definitely seen some reports, to be clear, of people saying, I got like 3 or 4 in a game.
I got like 3 in the playtest this morning.
And like, that's why I'm just like interested if ever people have seen issues with your candy corn stuff. Obviously it's still early. I will say the other thing I keep noticing about is the audio cue of hearing developers go, free candy.
It's clumsy.
In there. I definitely heard it and went, wait, I think I recognize that voice. I've got 1 candy.
Display versus AI, I got 15. We don't want to make you farm bots, I mean, we can if you want to, I guess.
Go farm bots in chat for candy.
Yeah. Most of them are in grass.
Okay.
So if you aren't looking in the grass ever, that's where they mostly are. Some of them are like just kind of in like jungle paths between islands. I would say we'll take a look at it, but we'll give you a day or 2 to find the candy before we start making changes to it. Yeah, arena, outer edge of map, or grass. Yeah.
13 in 5 hours. Definitely varied. We'll keep an eye on it though. I'll definitely make a note of just keeping an eye on how much candy people are getting. I mean, I don't even know off the top of my head what the requirement is for the candy. How many do you need?
I think you need 100.
100.
Yeah.
And it's day 1. Like I found 5. I don't even know what the pacing should be, I guess.
Well, I feel like I get like 3 in a game, but I don't know. Maybe I'm
so
just
3 in a game. You need 100, and what do we get at 100? Again, I've not seen the event because I'm not going to.
At 100, you get a pumpkin.
Okay, so 100 for 1 pumpkin.
Yeah.
3 a game. Doesn't sound terrible, I guess, unless you try to rush it through.
Yeah.
It's been 1 day. How many are you expecting to get a game, chat? If you say 100, that's a bit much, in my opinion. Because that'd be like, there needs to be 1,000. It's more than that on the map. Yeah, 1,000 for every player to get 100.
Yes, there would
have
need
to be 1,000 candy corns on the map, which would be intriguing.
People are saying, wildly different opinions.
5 a game. So that would mean 5 a game average. And that's for you to find your 5.
Yeah.
There would be 25 for your team and 25 for the enemies. To be 50 candy on the map. We'll keep an eye on it. It was just an intriguing question of like candy corn.
Yeah. So I am going to respond to this provocative comment.
Provocative? Okay.
If you replace the entire SMITE code with Fortnite, you would probably see retention go way up, but it wouldn't be because players want to play what SMITE is. I feel like this hyperbole relates to how I feel about action cam, quick play, etc. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, but the players that are retaining better are not just sticking in quick play. They're not just playing with that camera, with that one camera forever necessarily, right? We are seeing that these people are playing like at a higher rate than ever. They're playing like more than 20 games, right? So it's not just like they're playing it a little bit and they're like, oh, this is fun. It's like they're playing it long enough to see the fun of SMITE and the core of what the game is. These things are just helping them understand that fun and to learn and appreciate it in a more modern way, right? Our goal still isn't to change the core of what SMITE is for the people that love what SMITE is. We're just trying to make it easier to...
Part of the onboarding, I guess, of playing, like learning the game to an extent. And I know if you've got experience and you've got a friend that's coming in, you might want to teach them, hey, turn the action cam off early because you're scared of them getting into some sort of bad habits. Yeah. But it could also be a beneficial tool for them just to get used to the basics of the game and then understand the flow.
Yeah, and it depends on where they're coming from. You know, like if you come from a lot of shooters, the action cam is going to feel more normal to you, as weird as it feels to hardcore SMITE players. If you come from a lot of MMOs, then the current SMITE camera will probably feel a lot better to you. In SMITE 1, when you aimed at an enemy, it would show a box around them, indicating they are in your sight. Any plans on adding that to SMITE 2? So there are brackets around the nameplate that appear when you have somebody in your sight. And the god is also, I believe, highlighted with like I believe the word is a Fresnel, but like an outer glow of like red, I think it is, if you are looking at somebody that you can hit. So there are those two pieces of feedback. There is not the box. The box is on our list of a thing, and your reticle also changes shape. That's another new thing that happens.
That does happen, yeah.
The outer box is something that is on our list that we do want to bring back eventually as an option for people. But it's one of those things that it looks like one of two things. It looks either like debug, like, like, oh, this person is highlighted, right? Like, it's very hard to do it in a way that doesn't look like a dev temp art, like box, like this is who you have targeted.
Square here.
Or we've also gotten feedback that it can lead players to think that it's more like a what's the word I'm looking at? Like not quite like a tab targeting game, but like if I have the box on this character and I click, then it is going to hit them. Right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because you're firing projectiles. It's not like you are locked on and you are going to hit somebody that has a box around them, which is what a lot of players infer from the box. They're like, I'm locked on. I clicked. Why didn't it hit him? It's well, because he moved, right? So I think that like those are some of the issues behind the box. It is on our list to get to eventually, but it's just not a super high priority because of the perceived negatives around communicating what the actual combat is.
How long is the supporter stuff sticking around? I believe for a while. I don't think there's a plan to tear it down.
The supporter stuff?
Yeah. I guess the supporter store stuff, right?
Yeah, supporter store stuff. There's no real plan to like tear it down and take it away. I think we did turn off one supporter store bundle this update just because there were going to be 9 in the store and the UI shows 8 well. so it was like scroll to see one thing was like, eh. And I forget what it was, but it was selling like, I don't remember the exact number, but I'm just going to come up with a made up number. It was selling like $20 a day worth of people actually buying this thing. And we're like, nobody actually cares about this thing in the first place.
If that's the case,
we'll turn it off for a little while and we can always bring it back. But like, yeah, the idea isn't necessarily that supporter store stuff is going to, like go away forever or anything. It's meant just to be like, here's a bunch of stuff that you can support us with. Why are 2 carries releasing so close to each other? Why are we doing Shibalanke before Osiris? So generally speaking, the way that we're doing our planning, we're trying to say in a span of 5 gods, we'll hit each role. That doesn't mean that we're going to do the same order every time,
right? Because
we're going to pick gods that make, the most sense for our dev pipeline, where we, if a specific god is harder or easier on art or programming or design, we need to get those things lined up in a way that it's doable for our pipeline, right? Like it is, I say it all the time. It is incredible that we ship a god every 2 weeks. We are very
speed is ridiculous, yeah.
And we're moving as quickly as we possibly can, and the way that we can do that is by planning very well. And so we have to like not necessarily follow the exact same order of gods every time, but we do make sure that we're rotating through the classes in a 5 god span.
Trying to take good questions down, so keep them. Giannis aspect updates. We don't have any on those just yet. I know the dev team is going to work away on the aspects in the background. If they don't come out initially, they will come out eventually. We just don't have a timer on it. I do know there's maybe 1 or 2 in the works that are more further along than others that people won't expect, but we'll see how that comes out.
There's one I'm very excited about.
I didn't want to give more away than I just
saying
did, but,
I'm very excited about one.
Yeah, I think we all are internally. Yeah. And then everyone's in the community will be like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the community will be excited about it.
We'll find out. I think they'll take a lot of interest in it.
Hades' fear is misaligned on action cam. We can take a look at that.
Misaligned. I'm intrigued what misaligned means to be exact.
My guess is that because the character is aligned to the left.
I get it.
And your looking center, that your
fear is supposed to take you to a certain direction away from you.
Yeah, it's probably like, instead of being like this, it's probably like this.
I'll make a note of that one.
When will console players be able to change the position of the minimap? I think
sure we're able to.
Can, right?
Although console players confirmed for me, I'm sorry.
If that's not working in the HUD editor,
let us know. I've not seen any issues with some people that I know of that are playing on console changing where your minimap is.
I think we can. I think we can. But it's Little engine that could.
Is that what he was
Kid
originally
story.
from?
I think I can. Yeah.
I know of that reference. I just didn't know where it was
from. What's a console? Ugh, please.
Wow. Don't be offensive to console, okay? Like to be honest, a lot of people started console before it became PC Master Race.
I played.
Same me included.
Yeah. So. Any plans on making your mobilities have a little faster casting time? The slowness of the kit doesn't fit modern Smite. I think that currently we're not trying to change timings of abilities if we can avoid it. I think that he still does have a place in modern Smite. I know that, initially he came out a little bit underwhelming. Initially in our playtest, he was pretty darn good. So I think that maybe we just over-nerfed him and people are attributing it more to his longer animations than... Because his 2 always had a long animation, right?
It did.
And it got interrupted a lot in Smite 1. It was just that, like, you...
it's a kind of a counterplay mechanic of, like, having a wind-up time to do a big burst of damage that you can see coming. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of avoid it or try and CC to get away from it, etc., etc. And I guess that's what the chatter is actually asking about, is the 2, because none of the other abilities really feel like they've got long wind-up times or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And it does take a while before he goes down into his ult.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's the counterplay to like kill him before he goes down. Otherwise, he's out.
Yeah,
Exactly. Pawn has talked about adding Aussie. Is that still happening? I don't know. I do know that there is a item that we are currently playtesting, which may be in the next update. You didn't see it in depth?
No, I didn't look at it today. No.
Yeah, there's a new item, but there is a new item that we're playtesting.
It's not a support one then, because I didn't know.
No, it's not a support.
So I'll tell you.
Which may or may not come out. It's not Aussie, but there is an item that we are playtesting. So maybe a new item next patch. We'll see.
Nerf Suki. Does Suki need nerfs, chat? Is that what you all think? Again, we're waiting on data. It's still early. He had a couple of bugs as well, but what's your feels on Suki?
I feel like when Tsukiyomi is on my team, he needs a buff.
Yeah.
And when he's on the enemy team, he needs a nerf.
I would argue chat. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to agree that I believe chat will say the same thing. If, like, my teammates are just not good with him.
Let's see. Why is there no green buff? We've talked about this in the past. I don't really remember what the design logic.
What did it used to do? It was a shield heal.
It was like
it's a long.
Yeah, it was a support focused buff pickup.
It was such a rare item that got a support buff once upon a time.
Yeah, I think that like partially.
Now we get cups if we're lucky.
I was gonna say I think that like part of Smite 2 is that like you can pick up multiple buffs.
Sure.
Right. So it was less of a design that every class has their own buff to pick up. Right. And because there's also multiples of some buffs that drop because of the contestable camps, potentially that could go to the support or whatnot. I would say like we're aware of the green buff. It's something that could come back at some point in the future, but I don't think like that's the thing that Conquest needs the most right now, probably. Inbound says Suki is busted. Potentially.
If it inbounds feedback's not great. That's Solo or Charles in chat. Solo, tell SOT, how's Suki doing? I'm not gonna ask Bobby. That doesn't count.
And Sot says, asks, is player retention better now than at any point in Smite 1? I would say it's hard to say that is it better than at any point in Smite 1? I would say that probably like the early days of Smite 1 were probably a little bit higher would be my guess. If I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but that's pretty like standard and to be expected because of the way that the gaming industry was back then. Just like new player retention has gone down a lot over the years, just kind of as a default, because like there's so many options out there, and players don't stick with things as long if they aren't having fun. It used to be like, it used to take so damn long to download a game, and there weren't that many free games out there.
True.
And there were even fewer good free games that like, and at the very beginning, most people paid $30 to get into Smite.
Yeah.
And so people would play the game and they would stick around for a while and try and really see and appreciate why it was fun. Whereas nowadays, you know, if you don't show people in the first 10 minutes why a game is fun, they're probably just going to leave, right?
Just switch off to a different one, try that instead.
Yeah, it's I do it all the time. You know, I just downloaded I'm not going to say, but I just downloaded a free-to-play game recently, and I was like, I got like through the tutorial and halfway through my first actual match, and I was like, oh my God, I can't play this game anymore. Like, I understand that there's probably fun to be found here, but I can't be asked to try and figure it out. So I was just like, I'm moving on, right? And that's what a lot of players do. It's 2025. We all have short attention span. You know, we all, you know, are constantly scrolling our phones and whatever, right?
The world of social media and just interactivity, a button click makes it a lot
I will
more
say,
difficult to invest.
It's new player retention right now is at the best state that it's been in a very long time. So we're definitely like going in the right direction. The things that we're doing are working. It's just like if you're comparing it to at any point in Smite's history, the early days when retention was just better in video games, it was better.
Is it possible to have the option to buy pumpkins individually?
That's not currently planned. That does get you into the weird place where you could you'd basically like be able to just buy extra chest rolls at the end of the event, you know, because like there's more pumpkins out there than there are ones that you need for chalk. And then the extra ones turn into and you also get a free chest roll if you get the pumpkin kind of thing. I don't know how we would even price those. And if it would be as much of a savings as you would think it would be. I would say just see what the travelers are. I think there's probably going to be at least enough travelers that you find personally interesting that you'll be like, oh yeah, I want these, right? And if that's not the case, then I'm sorry. But I think that there should be enough compelling travelers here that, you know, you feel like I want to buy these things and to get my way to the chalk and the prisms.
I guess it's only day one of them, well, less than a day since it was released too. So just give it a bit of time, see how you feel. We can definitely revisit that in the future if need be.
Is the chalk skin in the game yet? It is not. We are still working on it. It will be available in game in the patch where you could get to enough pumpkins to obtain it.
Heard.
So. People are asking about PAX West. I don't know particularly why.
I mean, it's been a while since it's been out to PAX West.
Long time.
Someone did say why did we not go out there? But we don't go out there that often anyway to the West.
I mean, we don't. Generally speaking, conventions are not. They aren't a very good expenditure if you're just looking at return on investment, you know.
I know we went there for Seattle once, and I can't remember what game it was for, but it was for a different game.
We went there once for Hand of the Gods.
That was the one.
We went there. No, we didn't do DKO. We did DKO at TwitchCon in San Diego. We did. There was 1 year a long, long time ago, I think, where we did. It must have been 10 years ago. We did Paladins and Smite. It was kind of like a split booth at PAX West.
Yeah, I remember that.
But that was like 10 years ago. So I like going to conventions. They're fun, but they are not, unless a partner is paying for you to be there, there's not a lot of return on investment for being at a convention. Like when Hindu went to Valencia and it was hot. That was for esports. That was a little different.
That was both Paladins and Smite back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing the patch note show in 105-degree heat with no AC because the building was off was crazy.
And it was like a 3-hour patch note show too.
It was a 3-hour patch note show. Yeah. Stood in front of the esports set going, yeah, we're doing this tomorrow. That was an interesting time. Real throwbacks.
Will we add glyphs back? I would say never. It's not currently on our plan to add glyphs. I would say I felt like when we added glyphs into Smite, it made the UI a lot more confusing. I think that the idea of there's another tier that you can upgrade your items is kind of interesting, but I think it had pros and cons. But yeah, maybe something that comes back eventually, but just not the top priority. Glyphs are mid, just add new items. Yeah, that's kind of my take. Like, I mean, like, what's more fun? I can turn my Rod of Tahuti into Rod of Tahuti that drops a meteor, or Rod of Tahuti that makes me attack faster. Or I just keep Rod of Tahuti and I have a new drop meteor item and I have a new attack faster item.
I can see you in the world of like you are full build, you've got nothing else to spend money on. Maybe there's option paths there, but
people didn't wait until the end to buy their glyphs.
You just go straight to it because you think it's too
it's good,
yeah.
right?
Unless you block it in some way. You know, there's knock-on effects from
that. Excuse me. Yeah, kind of similar feedback on like branching starter items, about the relics that can upgrade and all that stuff. I think that's all just like it's more along the lines of like it's something that we've talked about. It's something that may come back at some point, but we don't think it's like the key thing to make the game the most better right now. I think that like if I was personally, weighing them, I think that like the branching starters is maybe the most interesting of those. I think that like most of the branches of starters got used a lot, whereas relics, it was usually like, this is the better one.
I mean, starters the same way.
Really? I felt like they were...
Starters most of the time would end up the same way, where it's like, yeah, this is the best one overall, and this is what we're always going to pick. There is viability to the other ones, but most people just default to one and go, this is the cookie cutter. We're going to use this until it's nerfed.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking mostly of like... Yeah, maybe it was more like niche, because like Axe, depending on if you were like Axe of Animosity and Axe of Sundering, whatever, the other one were both used quite a bit. But yeah, I guess you're right. I guess
it always defaults. I mean, the one thing with MOBAs and like in just item builds too, everyone's going to go to a meta build.
Yeah.
And the meta is kind of dictated by the community themselves. But at the same time, the meta is dictated and everyone just copies the meta.
Yeah.
So nothing really changes there. Or people just think that's the best one. So.
Can you make the candies more visible on the map? We can hardly see them. If you're on low settings, they should be much more visible with a hotfix that's going live today.
Let us know if it continues to be a problem.
Yep.
I've got quite a few notes today. I just keep writing them down of just little things to go and check with the team on afterwards.
What drawing is on the mannequin? Is it a blue pterodactyl? This is Charybdis and her ultimate.
Yep. Yeah. One of the old merch t-shirts. I do have some merch to show you. We got the someone sent us some merch in from the goodness. We gave away the merch license for people to be able to make content and things.
Community merch license.
We do have some stuff to show you on Friday. I forgot
cool.
to bring it in today, but we'll show you guys on Friday. It just made me remember that when we just saw that merch.
I don't quite understand this idea, but this person says it's a great idea.
Okay.
In the support store, global emotes for gods you just killed, leaving an interact button on their death spot. So like other people could like walk up to it and interact.
I guess like imagine a death stamp or something that instead of it being a stamp, you go and interact with it and something happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it like a firework display? Is it like, I don't know, you burn them at the stake? Is it you bury them, I'm thinking of variations of how this could work then. It plays a funny noise,
Yeah, it's interesting.
Could be something.
Could be something there. Match lobby upgrade still slated for next update. Not 100% sure it's going to be in the next update, but it's getting close. The UI designer who was, the programmer, who was working on it, had some PTO. He just got back today, and we were talking about the state of it. I think it's, like I said, I think it's getting close. The plan as of today is still we're trying to ship it next update. It may not get done, in which case it would slide. But if it does slide, I don't think there will be too much work that carries into the next update. It's just...
soon is what we'll say for
soon,
that.
Yeah.
It's on its way, but we just don't have a set time yet.
Yep. I know you aren't the art people, but thoughts on Tsukiyomi's hair? If you paid attention, IMO is the best direction for the hair debacle hair debate rather than doing Smite 1 hair or Hercules' lion hair. It looks really good. Yeah, I think we saw a Reddit post on this, and the art team has seen that, and they're very appreciative of the feedback. I think there's been a lot of figuring out the best way to do things in Smite 2, and I'm glad that people are enjoying Tsukuyomi's hair.
Suggestions of kill emotes now. Maybe when you kill someone, instead of interacting, sound effects play or confetti or fireworks.
Okay. You may be excited about something coming soon.
Dun, dun, dun. We'll see.
Some stuff is in development. Public API anytime soon. We are still trying to get the public API going. I don't have an update. I'm sorry. I feel like this is the thing that like I'm always just like, we're working on it. But we're kind of working with a third party on it. And because our current basically Smite 1 and Smite 2 are on completely different architectures. The Smite 1 architecture had the notion of having an API. The Smite 2 architecture does not have the notion of having an API. So the best way to solve for it is having an intermediary, which would actually probably be Tracker GG, who has all of our data, that they have, without an API, managed to access all of our stuff and format it in a proper way. And they could make that API available to other people. We just need to work with them to make that actually happen. And it is something that we are kind of in the process of doing, but it just hasn't, it's been slow going, I would say. This is my white whale. No, this is not my white whale, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it would be nice to have. Have we seen a notable increase in Ares bans? I've been on a crusade. I don't know. We will have more data in about an hour for what's been happening in the last week. But it's an interesting question.
Just Ares bans in comp, is that what they mean? Or
right.
Just in ranked?
In ranked, I guess.
Yeah, I know he had some competitive issues. And I know we've had a couple of bugs with Ares recently, but I know they've been resolved this past week. Big Olsen keeps asking the same question. What, Big Olsen, are we done glazing new players or something for the vets? What does that mean, something for the vets? What do you want, Olsen? Tell me. What do you mean by something for the vets?
He wants, dogs and cats.
I'm confused.
Maybe horses.
I'm confused. When people spam it or something like that in chat, I'm like, make it make more sense, please. It's not... I want to give you an answer. I just don't know what direction to go when you say something for the vets.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that we do things for all levels of players in every update, right?
Correct.
There's new gods that come out in every update.
Correct.
There's some balance. There's new items. We just did the whole healing pass not too long ago. We were working on some interesting conquest features that may or may not see the light of day. We've been working on stuff, and a lot of game development is you try stuff, you find the fun, and if it's not fun, it doesn't ship. And so we are working on a lot of features that I think will hopefully see the light of day soon, and you guys will have fun with.
There's always stuff that is going on testing in the background that some things do make it and some things don't, all consistently. I think that's the fun thing about data mining just lately, because I'm behind the scenes a little bit more now that I get to see things and seeing some of the data mining stuff that comes up going, oh, they found that, but that's never going to appear, or they found that, damn, they're going to know it's coming soon. It's an interesting one.
Intersect says, Kilgoon and Hindu, tell us the meaning of life, please.
That's deep. That's too deep. I'm not well enough to get into the ins and outs of the meaning of life, to be honest with you. However, Intersect, I do expect to see this specific question featured in your Too Long Didn't Watch of the Time Talks.
I thought you were just going to go with 42.
I was going to, and I was like, no.
Too obvious.
I was thinking about it. That would have been lazy of me.
Yes. I would say the meaning of life is to enjoy it.
What you make of it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
That.
Yeah, enjoy it.
The meaning of life is fat Loki.
It's fat Loki. Interesting take.
It's a good meaning of life.
Idea: a shop to buy the previous travelers, ward skins, jump stamps, etc. So we are we're still trying to settle in on exactly what we're doing with previous travelers that have rotated out. If we start selling the things in travelers individually, then it makes it hard for us to be able to just sell those existing travelers again, right? so we're still debating whether the best path is to bring back old travelers and let you unlock old ones, as an event or whatever, however we decide to do it, or if the better strategy is to split up the things and sell them individually. Currently, I think we're leaning more towards bringing back old travelers in a way. So once I have more to update there, we'll do that. Thank you for the rest of the music announcer packs in this update. Yeah, we forgot to put that on the patch notes.
Yeah,
I think Kellen forgot to tell us to put it on the patch notes. So
he asked about where he could put it. I gave him the link and it just never happened. So that was a little missed opportunity there. But yes, they all did get added from my understanding. I'm glad people are excited about them.
Yep. Will we be expecting any big changes that will attract the community? So our strategy right now is to constantly be getting better, right? There's different ways that you can approach games. You can go dark for a couple months and then you can come back with and here's a big update with a bunch of shit. Or you can say, hey, we're going to constantly ship stuff as soon as it's, in a spot to ship it. And we're just going to try and make the game better and better and better and better. And that's our strategy right now. So we're not focused on building up to,
a month, 2 month, 3 month release.
Yeah. It's not like, hey, we're going to do this crazy thing. It's like, no, we're still in the process of let's make the game better every day.
Yeah.
And I think that we're making progress in that direction.
I mean, in theory, we could drop a patch every 3 months with 6 gods in.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the standard of what we've been doing. But we've been doing that every 2 weeks rather than waiting for 3 months in a cycle. And then people get the investment early.
Yep. I will say, the negative of this approach is creating the re-engagement moment for players. Right?
When you find that, hey, you should come back.
You should come back now because of this, right? Yeah. And it's so all we have is the thing that we have is that every 2 weeks there's hey, you should come back if you like this god because this god is here. So,
just got 9 candy in 1 arena match.
Hey.
Okay.
I felt like I chose candy over my teammates though. Well,
Choices.
You have to make your own decisions. I wish that I had a better response for you on this, but is there any way to find a way to not punish players' rank when their teammates are throwing or leaving games? This is, if you find a way to do this, you will have solved a problem that no one has been able to solve in the history of multiplayer gaming, kind of. Essentially, in order for elo systems to work, people have to go up and people have to go down.
Yeah.
If you don't treat people, and the other thing is in a MOBA, it's hard to. I believe the problem is called entanglement, where it's hard to say specifically why a team won or lost, based on specific.
There's a lot of nuance that goes into a MOBA game of were you in the correct position at the right time, and did you help to secure victory or defeat? You know, and how do you get that to be? You can't manually have someone sat there going, "Yep, you deserve 3 SR and you deserve minus 3 SR."
There have been games where I'm 0 and 10 Mir support, and I'm doing nothing.
My favorite games are the ones where I'm 0 and 20 and we won, and I'm man, I earned rank for that. And I shouldn't have.
Well, but sometimes even you're 0 and 20,
but
and
I have done stuff. Yeah,
and then at 40 minutes, you make a sick play that wins your team the game, and then it's well, was I a thrower who made this game take 40 minutes?
Oh, you're an F7 warrior, you, by the sounds of it. You're I'll wait till 40 minutes and get one good ult, and then we win the game.
Well, yeah, I'm more of an F6er myself,
okay,
actually.
Okay.
But I think that it's just so hard to tell. In your example of specifically levers and whatnot, right? Yeah, obviously it's easier to tell if somebody's left the game, and but it's just, in order for the math to work out, people have to gain points and lose points, and it's really hard to distribute them and be well, all of the loss in points goes to the person who left the game, and I wish I was smarter about this, but I've had it explained to me a million times. So I'm there must be a way. And everybody's no,
it's so complex.
Yeah.
So complex. And most ranking systems are really based off chess. Once upon a time, of just the ELO matchmaking system is just based off 1v1 is the bigger thing rather than multiplayer games.
Killgoon Rage Quits confirmed. So
get me out.
if we're down 150 tickets in arena and nobody on my team can get a kill, including myself, I'm like, maybe we just go to the next one. You know, like.
Okay. I think it's about rage quitting. Then I'm like, okay, listen, I'm down 150.
No, I don't rage quit.
Okay,
I'm gonna finish the game. I'll play it out, but I'm gonna hit the F6 button as soon as I can. So
I was gonna have to check your account for reports then.
Yeah.
I was like, I was investigating a bug, and one of the most I've been reported for was getting into 2 lobbies at the same time, and people just thought I was just quitting the game because I didn't like that. I was stuck in the role I was in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean support. But what my reports for that?
That's funny. Can we show how long the match took on the end screen? Yeah, that's one of those things that is on our list to do. We should ask about that again and see if that's doable. Why does Herc's shoulder look like it's out of Battlefield? And what's up with his crimson skin too? Colors are way off. I don't know specifically on the crimson skin. I think the colors look pretty normal on that skin to me. I think you mean like the red and white one. But the shoulder, I assume you mean how like the fur is a different style than any of the other fur in the game. That was kind of a tech test by our art team back when we did Herc, because initially we did a different approach and people said it was really ugly. So we did this and people were like, yeah, that looks good. But I think we just decided we didn't want to do all the hair in the game that way. At some point, we'll probably go back to Herc and change that to be done in the style of, hair/fur that people are liking in the game now. But he was a relatively early character where we were still trying to find the best path for that. So that's why he has a slightly different fur than anybody else. We have a very early, dev test version of On Her where he's just covered in fur.
I do remember him.
Yeah. And it was like, I don't know, maybe not right.
It looked good. It looked okay, good, but then performance-wise was definitely going to be a problem as well.
Retroactive rank loss refunds if a player gets banned off actions in a match. Rainbow Six does this with cheaters.
Okay, so you got in a game with a cheater, and then you get retroactively refunded your ranking.
I mean, maybe
I see a path.
I could see that. I would say that, like, in terms of actual cheating, we don't see a ton of that as of right now.
Yeah.
There are definitely people that throw games and are poor sports and all that, right? But like in terms of cheating, which I think is the thing that makes the most sense to do this for, it wouldn't affect very many games right now.
My dad. Well, this is actually it's 1:59.
Oh,
which means it's time for
one more question.
And I'm going to take the one that said about my dad. Not my dad, but
excuse me.
Someone said their dad works at Hi-Rez and has been tasked with working on King Arthur for 2025. How is he doing with the project?
Oh, he's not doing too good with it.
He's struggling.
He's struggling. Yeah, King Arthur's. We're still not at a point where we want to do King Arthur. When we had Josh on, he talked about this a little bit. King Arthur is like surprisingly one of the most difficult gods in the game for us, and a lot of his gameplay stuff interacts with the movement system in a way that we kind of feel like we still have work to do on the movement system before we bring over a couple gods that are very reliant on that movement system. So I would not expect to see King Arthur
in 2025,
which is this year, right? Yes. I would not expect to see him in 2025. He is obviously a beloved god.
Your dad needs to get back to work, is what Kilgan's really saying.
Sorry about that one.
Crack on, please.
New question meta acquired. You know what? Hey, it's not my fault that you picked that one out.
I'm going to help that one, okay? I've got another one, someone else, SOT. My mum works at Hi-Rez and has been tasked with working on tier for 2025. Your mum's doing worse than his daddy's. That's what I'll say there.
Let's see. I got to pick a question here. I'll address this one just because people have been mentioning it, and there've been a lot of people in chat today talking about Shibalanka's design. I'll say we got that feedback last week as well, I think, and our team has been made aware of the feedback. All things art are kind of subjective, you know, so I don't know exactly. I don't have a firm answer as to if any changes
what has changed or what hasn't changed.
Yeah, but
I guess that's based off the work in progress information we shared.
Yeah,
which is work in progress.
Yeah, we showed the early work in progress Shibbolante.
And since then, we've had people discussing their thoughts and feelings and direction.
People want leopard pants back. They want, you know, the eye color of the jaguar to change. They want a tail. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that people want. I don't know what is or isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I would just say that we've heard the feedback, and you know there may or may not be changes.
You'll see more when we know more and we have more to show.
Yeah.
Is that your last one? Have you got one more for them?
I think that might actually just be my last one today. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. I'm sorry.
Well, trust me, I've been struggling too. I apologize for the lack of exuberance from me for this stream too. I feel like Kilgun did most. I work at Hi-Rez. I've been tasked with porting Tablet of Destinies. How am I doing so far? Good question.
I mentioned this item to design. The other
you mentioned it recently. I remember you hearing Tablet of Destinies.
It's such a good item on Yorm. Like I used to love using it on Yorm.
Yeah.
No, it was so much fun. But the most fun thing about Yorm is just creating like this huge ticks that come out of your one. People just walk into it and they get hit for their entire life. And they're like, what the heck? You know, like that is the fun of Yorm if you are a scum like me. Yeah. So
scum like you. Just in the pools and sitting around them. Yep. Anyway, thank you all for joining us for Titan Talk today. We'll be back on Friday and we'll give you more updates of what's coming down the pipe next. Maybe have a guest. We'll give you more information there. But for now, we'll see you all on the battlegrounds.
Chat, I saw your mention. There was no Alani check. I'm sorry. Orange Kiss.
Water.
I actually had an Alani today, so we had to come back to the Alani check. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.